just awoken from another dream. In this dream, I was in a high-rise building, quite a tall building in a city, and I was in an apartment in this building, and the apartment was my apartment, place where I was living, where I was renting. And some neighbours who were in an adjoining apartment, I spotted this wall, this like window in a wall, and I looked through and my neighbours were in there, and I thought, oh, hang on, they can see right through into my place. And so I went up and I was speaking to them, and I said, oh, I didn't realise that wall was there. I didn't realise you guys were here. And so I started chatting to them. Anyway, they started saying, oh, yeah, look, we're here, and there's all this other stuff here. And they started showing me these other rooms and everything. And I said, oh, I didn't even know half of this stuff was here. And they showed me this extra, like, secret passageway thing which go up onto another floor and in their apartment. I thought, I wonder if there's one of them in my apartment. So they came back into my apartment and they said, oh, look, we reckon it might be in here. And we went into the kitchen. When we went into the kitchen, there was a cupboard that I didn't even know was there. And we opened the cupboard and they said, oh, look, there could be a passageway or a compartment in this cupboard. So we're looking in this cupboard, but there wasn't a passageway in that cupboard. And so we kept looking anyway. We went into another room. And I said, oh, I wonder if there's something through here, like a little hidden passageway or a doorway or a trapdoor in the roof or something. And we looked around and there was. And I went through this trapdoor thing and I went up into this other floor. And there was this whole big area up the top. And I was up there and I was looking around. And there was these fibre optic cables and this other bits and pieces of stuff. And I said, oh, we should grab this stuff. And I said, it doesn't look like it's being used for anything. We should grab it and I'll take it down. And I was talking to my neighbour and I said, oh, he said, he wanted the fibre optic cable for something. I said, oh, look, we'll take it down. Don't wreck it. I said, look, it was going to destroy it. And I said, don't wreck it. Well, I've got some lasers here and we'll stick it through the lasers and we'll have a bit of fun with it. And he said, oh, okay, cool. So anyway, we were putting all the stuff down from this top floor into the bottom floor, and then I came back up into the top floor. My neighbour had gone, and when I come back up into this hidden floor sort of area above my apartment, I was gathering some of the other stuff that I'd found there, which I figured wasn't being used for anything. And there was this guy there from like a Mitre 10 hardware store or something, and then there was all these construction people there all of a sudden. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Where did these people come from? And one of the guys started singing this song, and he started like singing like a jingle or something for his hardware store. And I said, oh, well, okay. I was startled by it. And he said, oh, he was looking around and he said, I imagine the gig we could have up here. We could set up a PA system, we could have a band, we could do a show, we could do the whole thing. And I'm thinking, hey, yeah, we probably could too. I said, that's not a bad idea. So anyway, this guy went off and I was gathering all this stuff, and I was still going to gather this stuff that I was going to gather before and take it down. And I was thinking, well, hang on, this might belong to these guys. And I thought, no, it doesn't. And so, I don't know, at this point I was sort of a bit unsure whether I was actually stealing the stuff or not. I didn't quite know whether it was right to do it or whether it was wrong to do it. And while this was happening, I was sidetracked by my ex-boyfriend. He was there and he started getting all passionate and steamy like he was on an ecstasy pill. And he came over to me and he's showing me this outfit he had on, and he's hinting at something, and he said, look, feel this. And I go, what's this all about? And I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting, nice outfit and all the rest. And the next thing he started getting really passionate with me, and I'm thinking, oh, okay. And he showed me he had a bra on underneath his top, and I'm thinking, oh, all right. And anyway, I put an end to all the passionate thing, and I said, look, I've got to get back down to the bottom floor into my apartment. I said, Mum and Dad are there. They've been there for ages, and I've hardly said hello or anything to them. So I went back down into my apartment, and as I went back down through this trapdoor back that we discovered into my apartment, there was... I was in a new part of my apartment that I didn't even recognise, and Mum was in this new room, this room that looked like it was set up as a shop selling car parts and everything, and had all this, wire and car parts and gauges and everything. it looked like it was a showroom that was never used. And so I said, and Mum was vacuuming it, and I said, oh, this is really, really cool. I didn't even know this was here. And I said, this is part of my apartment. She said, yeah. And I thought, oh, okay, wow. I thought, oh, this will be my new studio. I could turn this into a studio. This is a great room. It's got its own air conditioner. It's got everything set up. It's got a nice cooling fan in it and everything. This is fantastic. So I had plans of setting it into my new studio. And as I was doing that, I walked out of this room and I planned to move everything in there. And this guy was in the passageway that sort of went from this room into my area. And we were talking to this guy, and he was in this. There was a doorway between this area and the area he was from, and where he was from was a business, and he owned the business by the looks of it. We were talking about this new room that I discovered, and I said, oh, wow, I didn't even realise this was part of my apartment. And he said, well, it sort of is, and it sort of isn't. He said, it's sort of, we sort of own this. And Mum come out this time, and she was talking with him as well. And this guy said, well, look, we own this room here. We own it, actually. And even though it's sort of on your part, it's sort of ours as well. And I said, oh, well, that's cool. And I was about to start negotiating with him and discussing how much he would charge me if he wanted to rent it out to me. Thinking maybe, $20 or $30 a week extra for this extra room or whatever. And as I started thinking about this, I'm looking at the passageway that this guy was standing in. I could see through his area of the building, and I could see there was this big, like, floor to roof window that looked out from the top part of this building that we're in, because we were on the top floor of this building, and my apartment was obviously on the second top floor. So we started looking out, and I'm thinking, oh, it's like we're on an ocean liner, it's like we're on a train or something, or a boat, and like everything was moving, and it was, so I could see everything. I wasn't startled at all by this. I thought, oh, that's interesting, but I wasn't startled by it. But it was like we were on a boat with different sections, or on a train, and the whole thing was just moving around and sort of like a swimming, swaying motion sort of thing. And then I started thinking, hey, wait a minute. We're not on a train or a boat or anything like this. Wait a minute. We're in a high-rise building. This thing's supposed to be stable. I thought, wait a minute. This is swaying and moving like this. We're in an earthquake. And just as I started thinking that, this announcement came over this PA system saying, this woman started saying that she doesn't, because this was quite startling, because it was in like Melbourne City or something like this. It seemed like Melbourne City. I don't know if it was Melbourne, but it seemed like it was in Melbourne. And we never get earthquakes in Melbourne. Certainly not earthquakes like that. And this woman come on this PA and she said, oh, this is a little bit unusual. This is all this swaying. I think that means we're in an earthquake. And then just as she said that, I heard all these screams, and these people started panicking, and people started worrying, going, oh, I don't know about this. So everyone started screaming, and I'm looking at Mum, and I'm thinking, this isn't good. And as I'm thinking all of this, the building started swaying really badly, and it started toppling. I'm thinking, and I was concerned, but I wasn't panicked, and I thought, well, there's nothing much I can do here. And just as I started thinking that, everything went black, and I found myself, like, the whole building started falling and collapsing in around me, and I was falling amongst all the debris and everything that was crumbling and collapsing in this room. And as I was falling and everything had went black, because obviously the power had gone off and all the lights had gone off and everything, and the whole place had gone black. As it went black, I'm dropping down and getting crushed amongst all the rubble, but I didn't feel any pain. Then all of a sudden it was like this gentle floating feeling, and it was still dark from the building, but it wasn't scary dark. It was like, oh, this is... And just before that moment, I remember saying a four-letter swear word, which I would never use now. Being a Christian, I would never use that language. But in this particular thing, I said one word starting in S and ending in HIT. And just after that moment, that's when everything started. It changed from. I knew that at that point that I'd died, and I just felt this drifting, floating feeling, and total. At no point did I feel any pain. There was no pain. I remember talking to Jesus, and I remember I don't remember what I said, and I don't remember anything else about it, but I remember talking to Jesus, and just after that I woke up. So that's the extent of this dream. So leave you all with that thought, and I'll see you on the next YouTube video. So God bless everybody. Stay strong in faith, and know that if we put our faith in Jesus, even if we die in this life, no matter what it be, I really don't believe that we'll feel pain. I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. But whatever happens, we've got nothing to worry about because we'll be reunited with Jesus. So God bless everybody. See you next time.